Hi, I'm Charlie Plunkett, and I am so excited that you are joining me in this free masterclass to find out how you could become a Chi-Ballet certified teacher. So exciting. So before I started recording, I've checked in with those that are here live, and I know where you are at in your journey. But if you're watching this on the replay, the chances are that you've fallen into one of these categories. You hopefully have a passion for dance, because that was what I kind of placed, when I was sharing wherever it was that you found me, whether it's on Facebook or whether you received an email from me. You may well be already a teacher. It might be that you are a ballet teacher. You might be a Zumba teacher. You could be teaching something more, a mindful practice. You may be in a situation where you already run lots of classes and you're looking to grow your business, or you might not be a teacher at all, and you might have always, wanted to be a teacher. You've always felt maybe, that's something that's going to take, a long time to achieve, and you don't know where to start. And it might be that you are a student, that you are, someone that takes lots of dance classes, or regularly goes to Zumba lessons. And never discount, if you are not a teacher, there's no reason why you cannot become a teacher, but how much experience you have when you are actually a student, whether you're someone participating in another teacher's class. Because if anything, you've got the inside scoop on exactly what it is that is appealing to the other women in the class and to you. Why do you keep going back to these lessons? What is it about that particular teacher? And these are all amazing things that you can use to become an incredible teacher yourself. So Chi-Ballet, what is it? So it's a brand new fitness methodology, and it is based on the graceful and artistic movements that you find in ballet dance, along with the practice of Qigong, which is an energy movement practice that you can use to heal your body using Chi energy, and alongside the more, so I call it Chi-Ballet, body of a ballerina, mind of a monk. So then the more monk-like practices of showing gratitude, using positive affirmations and meditations. So it's all of those things all encased into this brand new fitness methodology. And you don't need to be a ballet teacher or a monk to become a Chi-Ballet certified teacher. All you need is an open mind, and to be sort of willing to learn all of the tools that I'm going to share with you. And today I'm going to start off by as well as sharing the benefits that your students, the women that you are hopefully going to serve, we'll be sharing some of those benefits, but also the benefits that you will find. It's so fulfilling being a teacher. So before I get into all of that, why should you listen to me? If you haven't met me before, as I said at the top, I'm Charlie Plunkett, and I have been dancing, specifically ballet dancing, for 50 years. I started when I was very little, and it's my absolute passion. And I do, I've done lots and lots of other different methods of dance as well alongside ballet. I've tap danced and modern dance and jazz dance, and I've taught drama and singing, and the list goes on and on and on. But at the very heart, ballet is my major passion, and for the last 30 plus years, I have been devoted to sharing that passion by teaching ballet classes to children and adults of all ages and abilities. And those ballet classes have been what I would describe, what you, if you were to observe them, would describe as a traditional ballet class, in that, and if you haven't ever experienced a ballet class, they follow like a a quite precise format. There's usually some kind of a warm-up, and then you might have see that there's a ballet bar where, you know, the dancers go through very specific exercises that really don't change. So it might be that as when you're a child, you're learning a more basic version, and when you're an adult, it gets more complicated. And if you're a professional, it gets even more complicated, but the essence of it, the steps are the same. It's just like with anything, as you become more skilled, you put more into it and your technique improves. So those are the kind of classes I've taught. I've taught graded classes, in other words, where your students work through like grades 1, 2, 3, 4. And as they go through, you know, they learn more skills. So ChiBallet isn't based on a traditional class at all, because something that I've discovered over the last few years in particular is that when women come, we'll talk specifically about women now, when women come to my classes, most of them don't actually want to train to be ballerinas. So, they want to feel like ballerinas. So for an hour or an hour and a half, however long that class is, that's what they want, is they want to feel like ballerinas. And there often as well are some other reasons that they come to class. You know, they might want to improve their posture or their flexibility. You know, they might want to come to, you know, relax, you know, to use it as, you know, a form of escapism, because it is very, very creative dance method. But there's lots and lots of reasons why they come to class. But often what we think it is that we come, you know, to learn isn't necessarily what we come away with. And we often come away with so much more. And so I've learned over certainly the last, you know, few years that yes, women want to feel like ballerinas. And I'll give you a very good example of that. I teach point work, and I remember when I was teaching a group of adults who had they hadn't had any experience of point work prior to starting with me. And so one lady, I showed her how to darn the point shoes. Now, nowadays, you don't actually need to darn point shoes. But again, it's about ownership. And within ChiBallet, I'll be talking about ownership and how you will be taking ownership of ChiBallet. But the long story short is that I showed her how to darn her shoes and how to stitch her ribbons on. And she came into class the next time I seen her saying, "You'll never guess where I chose to do this." And I was like, "No, I don't know where you did it." And she did it on her commute into work. So she sat there in a really, really busy train compartment, darning her shoes. Now, she did that because it made her feel really special. Yes, she knows she's not a professional ballerina. She's not got any aspirations to be a professional ballerina. But that kind of pride of, holding these shoes. And she said she could see people like looking and smiling at her. So, yes, that's a little example. Now, so yes, I've been dancing 50 years, teaching 30 years. And I would say that as a teacher, one of my gifts, I think, is I am kind of like a remedy to specifically for adults that have had negative experiences when they danced as children. And by negative experience, I mean really strict ballet teachers. I mean the ballet teachers of my childhood, where literally every single thing that you did was criticized. Like, put your shoulder down, do this. And it was tough. And there was not actually many girls that started in my ballet class that stayed because you kind of, especially when you got to like 13, 14, you're just like, I'm not putting up with this with the teacher, literally criticizing everything. So I did pursue, and I did go to a vocational dance school from the age of 12, and I then went on to train professionally in Covent Garden at the Erdog Academy, and I had a lovely career dancing. And so that is my history, briefly potted up. And yes, so I would say that as a teacher, I like to inspire others, and this is something that I'm very much going to be encouraging you to do. So I must also say that if you have seen the logo for Chi-Ballet, does it remind you of anything? Stick of rock, possibly. Yeah, this is Chi-Ballet, body of valor in the mind of a monk. When you look at it, it does look a bit like a stick of rock. And part of the reason why I created that was I always, not always, but I do often jokingly say, if I were a stick of rock, I would have ballet running all the way through the middle of me. So that is why the logo is the way it is. Now, so that is we've chatted about the ballet aspect of it. So what I will say is that ladies that come to me, I'm known for being a ballet teacher, and ladies that come to me are coming for a full, however long the class is, all about ballet. Yeah, and they may be coming for different reasons as to why why they want to come to class in the first place, but they are coming and expecting a ballet class. So Chi-Ballet, because it's a blend, that it's not aimed necessarily at those women. Because I will also say that, and you may experience this if you're a teacher already, that if you've got an established class and your students, whatever level they were at when they started with you, will progress. That it's the nature of what we're doing as teachers, is helping our students to progress. And you'll sometimes get to a stage where they're all really quite good. Like a lot of my students are kind of like intermediate sort of level. And then you'll get a beginner come in. And as a teacher, you're like, oh, because you don't want to dissuade anyone from joining, especially if they're really, really keen and they're like, I really want to do this. And that's the only, whatever slot is, that's the only time that I can come. And yet when you are teaching, you're kind of, you're split, because, you want to serve your regular students, and that they're of this, quite high level. And then you've got this new student who you want to encourage, and you want to, you want for her to come back, and you want for her to enjoy it as much as these other students do. And you can sometimes end up feeling like you've not pleased anybody. So Chi-Ballet is aimed for any woman. So the level of ballet. So if you're sitting here thinking, oh, that's great, Charlie, you've got 50 years of ballet experience, that's all right for you. I don't worry. Yes, you don't worry. All you need to be is a couple of steps ahead of your students. I know that sounds very simplistic, but you only need to be a couple of steps ahead of them. And I'm always going to ensure that you are more than a couple of steps ahead of your students. Ballet movements are very simple. And actually, when I get into chatting about the Qigong part of the class, a lot of them intertwine. And if there wasn't the classical music and the names that we use in ballet, it's all got French terminology. If the French terminology and the music was removed, you could look at it and think, that's Qigong. Yes, so very, very similar. A lot of these different dance and movements methods are very similar at the heart of them. So you don't need to worry about that. So you could, in theory, have someone attending a Chi-Ballet class who has ballet experience, but maybe has never done any Qigong or any mindful practices. And you could have someone who's never done any ballet, but maybe, has an interest in Qigong. It doesn't matter, because this is all something that is brand new. It's something that I've created. It's something I'm going to share absolutely everything with you. But I'm also going to be very much encouraging you to have ownership of it, much as the lady with the point shoes, and create some of your own movements as well. So the Qigong part of it. So Qigong, I have trained with this Tori method, and very briefly, the Qigong master, he used Qigong to totally heal his body after he was a martial arts teacher, and he actively used to encourage his students to take him down. And one day someone did just that, and he couldn't get back up. Listening there. So he literally was kind of in his bed, laid out. I think he did something to his back, something quite serious to his back. And during that, and it was a long period of time, he was, beside himself, because it was his life, it was his livelihood. And without it, he was, very, very, he became quite depressed. So I don't know how he learned about it, but he came across Qigong and lying down. So what's amazing about this, and we will when we get into things a bit more, you'll learn that a lot of these different movements and practices, people don't necessarily need to be fully able-bodied, that if you were sort of doing some of these movements could be done sitting down, or as I said with him, he was lying down and he started using Qigong and totally healed himself. And if you saw him today, you would never believe that, you know, he'd injured anything. He's super fit, flexible, mobile, you know, strong. So yes, so the Qigong side of things is so Chi-Ballet, I've spelt it CHI, Chi meaning energy, and you know that everything in life is energy. I'm saying your energy, I'm energy. And Qigong, it can also be spelled like that, but I spell that with the Q-I-G-O-N-G, but it still means the same thing. It's to do with movement and energy, and we're going a lot. I'm going to show you some signature moves a little bit later. Now, the monk-like practices. So you may already be familiar with some of these practices, showing gratitude daily and how that can boost your happiness. Meditation, which again, as a teacher, if you do mindful practices, you may well finish your sessions where you are sharing a guided meditation with your students, and it's something which is a lovely gift to be able to give them that kind of time out. But it's also lovely when you're in a class situation like that to just be able to use your mind to visualize whatever it is the teacher is leading you with. Now, my own personal growth story. I'm going to make it very, very short. Years and years ago, I did used to get quite stressed out and worried and anxious about all manner of sort of things. I could give Dr. Cotton a run for her money. And so I did kind of go on a bit of a quest to find ways to, you know, be more calm and not worry about things so much. And the one place I've always felt very relaxed and very happy is in a ballet studio, or my living room, but when I'm dancing. But even I cannot dance 24/7. I do quite a lot, but not that much. And so I came to discovering all sorts of things, but in recent years, the last couple of years, I became an emotional freedom technique coach. So some of you may know what that is. It's tapping. And if you have purchased the Chi-Ballet mini course that's available, I do actually, there's a short training in there where you can learn how to do it. And it's an amazing self-help tool. I'm not going to cover that tonight, but just so you know, I'm a law of attraction coach and a Reiki master, and also a belief clearing coach. So all of these different things I have integrated into this kind of like philosophy behind Chi-Ballet, and I am going to try and share as much of it as I can with you this evening. But if you decide to join the course, which I will explain a little bit more about later, then you will get everything I have. So what I wanted to also just briefly say, because I know some of you have said that you are Zumba teachers, and obviously I know as well that some of you already do ballet, that Chi-Ballet is brand new. But Zumba, I don't know if you know how Zumba came about. So I have never mentioned this because it feels like such a long time ago, but I'm also an aerobics teacher. And interestingly enough, Zumba came about back in the 1990s when a aerobics teacher turned up for his class and had no music with him. And rather than cancel the class, dance teachers, we always have some like little idea up our sleeves. He decided to use, so this is how long ago it was, cassettes. He had a cassette of Latin music, and he used that to accompany his aerobics class. And we all know how well that went down. So, you know, a few years back, nobody had heard of Zumba, and now it is this incredible phenomena. The other thing that I wanted to kind of like use as a little comparison was, so years back when, so obviously you have people that come along to ballet as children, and we have then adults that start as beginners or I love teaching adults that are returning. So they maybe did ballet when they were younger, or maybe they even carried on right up until their teens, but then they kind of stopped usually when it got a bit serious, and they've returned to it. So they do have kind of like quite a nice, foundation already to be building upon. But you also have, like, when you get a little bit older, it used to be called like 50 plus ballet. And it was a very strange name to call it, for starters, because often 50 was, not the sort of starting point. Most ladies maybe were in their sort of 70s and upwards. But generally speaking, people don't really like to be labelled by their age, even children. It's a known fact that children, when they're reading books, if they're 10 years old, for example, they don't want their hero or their heroine to be 10 years old as well. They want to be like 12 or 13. So nobody really likes to be like labelled by their age. And so the Royal Ballet came up with this, coined this phrase, silver swans, which now again is this huge thing. You only need to say silver swans and instantly you know who that is aimed at, who it's for. Yeah. And so I'm not suggesting that Chi-Ballet was kind of created by accident, like Zumba was, but it's more that it's evolved. So all of those years of me teaching and coming to the realization that, yes, there are some students, a handful of students. So I've taught, excuse me, I've taught thousands and thousands of classes over 30 years, as you can imagine. But there's probably not that huge a quantity of women that I've taught that actually, as I said, at the top want to be ballerinas by profession. It's more how they want to feel. And so Chi-Ballet has kind of come from that. And where I see it going is along the lines of Zumba and Silver Swans, and then all these other, I'm sure that you can list lots and lots of, the Pure Bar, and, there's lots of different fitness modalities that I'm sure that you either have heard of, that maybe you attend. And there has never been a better time for being a teacher, being in the kind of self-education industry, and for sharing with others the capabilities and skills that you have. And I am sure that you have so many capabilities and skills, and it would be my absolute pleasure to nurture you and to coach you and to mentor you, so that you can, this is a great time to be creating and to be unlocking your own potential and your own creativity, so that you can go forth and set up your own classes. And I'm going to break down in a little while exactly how that's all going to work. But yes, so it's a great time for you to do that. Now, let me just see. I'm just going to very quickly clarify. So you do not need to be a ballerina or a monk to become a Chi-Ballet certified teacher. It's a combination of simple ballet moves with Qigong and mindful practices of gratitude and affirmation and meditation. So what I'm going to suggest next, to be sitting down for quite a while, is I'm going to swing my camera around, and we are going to, so you might want to take a supporter, move your notepads out the way if you've been making notes, and we are going to have a go at learning some of the signature moves. So I'll just give you a little taster of what you can expect. Okay, so let's just move this. Let's balance. Right, let's get that balance. Okay. This is why I have the camera up this way, so you can actually see. So I'm dressed, as you can tell, in my ballet clothes so that you can see my body, but you obviously don't worry, wear whatever you want to wear. When we actually doing the course, it may be that you decide you do want to wear some kind of clothing that you can move more freely in, but for now, just find yourself space. And I am going to show you some of the moves, the signature moves, and you can see how you get along. So just first of all, just give your hands a little rub. Have a gentle breath in click them out. Now, we're going to start off with a Qigong-based exercise called tapping. So you're going to start at your shoulder and you're going to tap down your arms all the way down to your fingers and back up the inside. Now, why are we doing this? This activates the chi or the energy in your body. So this could potentially be a great way to start a class. Wake everybody up. There are other ways of doing this, and there are ways that are more calming. So if you're teaching an evening class, or you had a class where the focus was on de-stressing people, maybe would use a different way of doing it, which I will show at another point. So then you're going to go onto your shoulders. Now, around your collarbone. Now, if you come to the centre, that is your thymus. This boosts your immune system. Really good one to activate. Then you go down the side of your body. On the other side. Honey, so you could do like a little drum roll, but you could actually do it quite firmly and kind of flick the energy off. It's depending on you. Just eat normal, not to go too hard. Now, around here, knees, otherwise known as the gate of life. So we could rub them. Just breathe into that. Now, for this next little bit, you're going to go down your legs. So you could, if you've got people that aren't particularly mobile, you can get them to put their leg up on something. I've got my foot on the sofa and go down to the ankle and back up. If you are feeling flexible, you could hinge yourself over. So you're going from your hips, way down, breathe out, and then come up the inside. And then yeah. Just shake it off. So that is tapping. We are now going to bounce. So again, there's everything else, lots of different ways of doing this. This is one of my favorite ways. You want to imagine that you've got two balls in your hands. We're coming parallel, and again, we will adapt this and kind of bring a bit more of a ballet stance into it. But for now, just coming hip distance apart, and you're just bending your knees whilst imagining that you are bouncing those balls. Just take some gentle breaths. There are special ways that you can do this exercise, adding breathing, where you're kind of breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. But for now, just breathe naturally. So you're just bouncing. Come back, you can see my feet. Now, what you could do, or get our students to do, is to bring their feet together. Yes. So here you are bouncing with your knees turned out. You're still trying to maintain a nice straight back. Imagine that there's a sort of hand supporting you here and the hand supporting you here. So those ballet dancers amongst us will recognise this as ballet first position. And then you could then slip your heels out. You can slip them back in again. You slip them out. And then you could take your toes out. And so now, again, this is a ballet position. It's a second position. And we're not, you'll notice it's very small little bends, but there's flicking action happening. And then from there, bring your toes forward. Bring your heels together. Bring the toes in. And then shake your hands. Now, we're going to really, really shake. So I always like to imagine you're a dog when it comes out of the sea and it just shakes. So just having your feet hip distance apart and just allow everything to shake. But breathe into it. So again, you'll have noticed I'm not using any music. Within the course, there is a whole section based on, music you could use. But for tonight's purposes, it's just my voice. But you could imagine how, if if you wanted to energize people, you could use some pop-in music to shake this out, or you could do something classical. And again, we'll be going in depth with that aspect within the course. So shaking. So you feel a little bit of energy going now in your body. So now we're going to do something called squeezing. Now, the reason we squeeze is to tense the muscles in your body. And by tensing them, you are almost like squeezing your organs, and it sounds horrible, but it's really great. So you want to breathe in as if you're sucking up a straw. And as you're doing that, you're going to clench your fists together, glutes, abs, arms, face. Make the most attractive face you can. And you're going to breathe in. So you're going to go. And then just breathe out and just let everything go. So decompressing. You know, when you watch like a bus, seen the bus when it kind of lifts up, and then if someone comes on the pushchair, it goes shh, and just allows the pushchair to kind of come up onto the bus. So that's the feeling. So let's bring the feet in together. Clench up that face, squeeze every part of your body, and then breathe out. And this time, as you step out, push. So let me come back a bit. Push outwards with your fists clenched. Feet have gone wide, and then breathe out. And your wrist drop. And you just feel this amazing stretch. And you can see the muscle definition in your arms. And then just shake it off. Okay. So we're going to now move into the fifth movement of Qigong, which is flow. And again, there is lots of different ways to flow. And in ballet, when we do flowing movements, we have a special name for it. It's called adage. So again, I will go more in depth into that, but tonight we're going to keep it nice and straightforward. So flowing, we are going to take the feet hip distance apart, and you're going to breathe in and breathe out. So you could imagine this lovely big ball of energy drawing up. And you've got soft shoulders. And your abs are engaged. And your knees are soft. Now, this movement, you could step it out. You could turn it out. So you see how my knees are turned out. My arms are just flowing. You could flow them across. Can you see this? If I was to stretch my arms, it becomes quite graceful and balletic. Stretching those muscles. Using these lateral muscles. Fingertips. Now, on the diagonal, you're just going to kind of lunge forwards and backwards. Lunging forwards and backwards. So again, we're engaging all these muscles. Now, as you go forwards, push the hands. And as you come back, draw them into your chest. Pushing and bringing them back. So you could make it a little bit more intense, but when you come back, instead of keeping the foot flat, flexing the foot, and you get this lovely stretch. So again, it's like a runner's stretch. I use this in my ballet classes for stretching when we've done quite a bit of leg work. Now, I mentioned at the top about the monk-like practices of affirmation. So we're going to use an affirmation as we're doing this. So you can repeat after me. Sometimes life pushes and pulls me. So that again, so sometimes life pushes and pulls me. But I choose to stay in the flow. Okay? But I choose to stay in the flow. Let's try that the other way. So sometimes life pushes and pulls me. Again, through the feet. Sometimes life pushes and pulls me. But I choose to stay in the flow. but I choose to stay in the flow. It's lovely, shaking it out. Now, another flowing exercise we can do, we keep our feet turned out. So as you're bending your knees, we are indeed doing a ballet plie. And again, when we get further into this, I'll explain to you, you can decide how you decide to call it, whether you decide to call it a ballet plie or whether it just is whatever it is you decide to call it. So we're going to start off by bringing the arms up and down the center. So they're coming up, down the center. So just bring it there, up, bring it down. And again, someone with less mobility could maybe just keep the knees hardly moving at all, and the arms could become smaller. So you could do a really small movement like this, and you could obviously take it a whole lot deeper. Breathing in on the up and out and down. Breathing in. And we could try an affirmation. I breathe in all the good life has to offer. I breathe in all the good life has to offer. Excellent. So we're going to go the other way. So this time you're going to lift your arms upwards and they're open. So in ballet we use this position a lot. We're going to open them, you're going to lift your chin up to the ceiling. So you need to engage your abs so you don't fall over and down. So again, you're lifting and bringing them down. So as using these, we can add an affirmation to this. We could say, I'm open to the beauty in life. I am open to the beauty in life. Excellent. And then just shake it all out. Now, let's have a little go of, so I am going to get into the different types of women that you may end up attracting and teaching. But if, for example, you were teaching ladies who had a very short lunch break and they've maybe an office job where they're sitting really focusing in on the computer and they might be worried about their eyesight because they kind of like feel like they're always squinting at their phone or squinting at the screen, something like this next exercise would be really good for them. And there is actually, I mean, again, keep you here for hours, but there is lots of other versions, but I'll show you a really nice simple one. So what we do is we bring our feet out and you take your arms out, and initially you're just going to place your elbows so they're dropped. So again, a bit of pressure there, and we're just going to start off first of all with your head. So your knees could be, you could come parallel, but if this is comfortable, this is good. You want to feel it's like an anchor dropping down, so you feel this through your spine. And initially you're just going to turn your head and look at your fingers like they are the most fascinating thing. Oh, I've got wobbles there, so you really do need to engage. Most fascinating thing you have ever seen. Turn your hands the other way. Looking and looking. So you're mobilizing your neck. Lovely. Now this time, when you look, do not move your head, just move your eyes. Yeah, so we're actually exercising the muscles in our eyes. So your head stays front and you look one way, bring it back to center, look the other way, look one way, and look the other way. And as you're doing this, you could add an affirmation if you wanted to, which is, I choose to focus. I choose to focus. I choose to focus. Lovely. And again, there is already, I feel like my eyes feel like, you just paid us some attention, thank you. So where am I up to here? Right. Yes, we're going to just add one last little flowing movement before we do my really big signature step. So you're going to add like a little, have like a little swaying action. And what you're going to do is you're going to swing your arms upwards. So again, this is a very balletic movement, but it's also found in Qigong. So you're swinging through, and we are now activating our knees. with your lateral muscles and your feet. So you could just keep it with bent knees like that, but why not add some movement through the feet? And with this, as you're swinging, you're looking at your hands, and we're going to have another affirmation, which is, I focus on the good in life. So you swing, I focus on the good in life. I focus on the good in life. Take a gentle breath. I focus on the good in life. Shake it out. Right. One last flowing exercise. You can see I'm ready here with my feet turned out. So, first of all, I know we've kind of warmed our knees up. We're going to, what I call, shine your knees. So you're taking some little bending movements and you're literally just rubbing around your knees. So you're curving over and just, polishing your kneecaps. So give them a good little polish. Now, the arms are going to come in and open. So in ballet, when they're at the side, we call this second position, and depending on the method of ballet you teach, I call this fifth en avant, but it has different names depending on what you've trained in. So we're going to use this movement. What's going to happen is, as your arms come in, you're going to breathe in, and as your arms open, stretch. So this, as you can see, is totally in place in a ballet class. But in ChiBallet, we're putting mindfulness into this. And this signature step is called plies of gratitude. And by that, I mean that every time you take a plie, you think of something, or you vocalize it, and use it as a positive affirmation. And I do these every morning with my son. It's part of our daily practice and a very big part of ChiBallet. Unlike maybe other classes, even ballet, I'm fairly certain that some of my ballet students don't do a plie from one lesson to the next time that they see me. Some of them maybe do. Some of them maybe do. But I think the majority probably don't. ChiBallet is all about you sharing your knowledge, but also inspiring your students to take these little nuggets, these little things that are like, oh, that felt really good. Oh, my eyes are feeling a bit strained. I could hop away from the computer and I could do that exercise for my eyes. So we want to be transforming their lives, which I know sounds huge, but that is what it's about. It's about transforming lives. Yes. No one comes to a class going, oh, I want to learn how to do a grapevine. I want to learn how to do a plie. I want to learn how to do it from that one. That's what they think. Maybe they want to come in and perfect certain techniques. But no, they want to feel ageless mobility. They want to, feel super flexible. They want to have, this feeling of creativity flowing through them. They want to feel full of gratitude to be alive. Yes. And these are things that we want to instigate as daily habits, because if you really do want to improve any aspect of your life, really the simplest thing to do is to change a habit, or either stop an old habit that's not serving you or create a new one. So part of ChiBallet is introducing into the daily practice plies of gratitude. So as you breathe in something that you desire. So it might be that you breathe in peace. And as you exhale serenity. You might want to breathe in wisdom, knowledge. You might want to breathe in happiness and radiate joy. You may choose health and vitality. So every time you breathe in, you just choose something. It's love. And you release passion. Maybe it's creativity, inspiration. Maybe it's motivation, and you release productivity. So I'm just going to let you do a couple while I'm not speaking. So you're just breathing in something you'd love to embody, and exuding something else. And you could switch them around. Yes, so if you breathed in wisdom and let out knowledge, you could breathe in knowledge and breathe out wisdom. Lovely. So give that a little shake out. Now let's see where we're up to. Oh, yes, I'm going to show you a couple of exercises that are for unscrambling your mind. So again, great for lessons that happen maybe during the daytime when people are feeling a little bit scattered. So this one is called the Wayne Cook posture. So what you're going to do, you're going to place your hands in front of you, cross them over, clasp your fingers, and very carefully bring them into your body. And as you do that, you cross your legs. Don't close your eyes because you'll fall over. Just breathe in gently and exhale. It's quite hard to keep your balance. Shake it back. You just do it again. So hands front. You go the other way if you wanted to. Squeeze it in. Breathing in. And exhale. And this is a great one. If I was with someone and they were saying that they were feeling, you know, they maybe had to make a presentation in front of a group of people, they were a bit nervous. This is a really good one for unscrambling your mind. How simple is that to do it? Another really simple movement is, so we're just going to activate our shoulders. Remember at the beginning, we were tapping here. But what you're going to do is you're going to sweep down into your hip. And you're going to pull and sweep down. So you're just crossing, and what's happening here is our body has lots of endpoint meridians. So if you're familiar with acupuncture, acupressure, you'll know there's lots of meridians in the body. By crossing, you are unscrambling. So again, those are great, easy things you can incorporate into your daily practice, into your students' daily practice. And then just shake it all out. Now, I'm going to very, very quickly show you a series of movements you can do for your arms to beautify them. So again, these are called Swan Arms. So we're going to come parallel. All you're going to do is you're going to bring your fingertips to the side of your face and push outwards, whilst feeling pulled up. Yes, you're sitting down, but your back feels supported. Neck is long and graceful, like a swan. You could take them in the diagonal, and as you're doing that, you could kind of pulse into it, and you'll feel more muscles being activated. And then back out to the side. And it doesn't take that many for you to actually start to feel those muscles being used. So these are great exercises to show the women in your class that maybe want to tone and strengthen their arms, but they really are adverse to gyms and weights. Maybe it's not so much they're adverse, maybe they're a little fearful of it. They don't know, you know, they don't want to shop at a gym and embarrass themselves by not knowing what to do. I know I've been in that situation and I didn't go back. But then the only exercise my arms get are these ballet movements, and they really do tone. You feel that? So now what we can do is we can take the arms all the way up, so the backs of your hands are touching and pushing down. Breathing in and pushing down. Now you could lift your chin, so you're not totally crooking your neck backwards, just raising your eyes and dropping down. Relax your head. Breathing in and dropping down. Now you could bend your knees as you go down. Breathing in, dropping down. Breathing in. So if I come sideways, you can see we actually turn that into a squatting movement. And again, you could add an affirmation into this if you wanted to. Maybe something like, I enjoy the freedom in life. I enjoy the freedom in life. It's almost like you're an eagle soaring. Breathing. And just give your arms a shake. So you're just going to bring one arm over your head and just holding it gently around the wrist. Give it a little wiggle into that, just to kind of like, and then just stretch away. So you're pulling away. That's a really great stretch. And then switching hands, have a little wiggle, keep your knees soft, relax your shoulders, and then stretching over. Breathing out. Excellent. Now, before we sit down, I'm going to show you one last one, which is called filling your pot with chi energy. So in ballet, we use these arms where they pass up. I talked about fifth en avant, so fifth en bas, fifth en avant, fifth en haut, and just this beautiful action of forming circles. Yeah. Now, if you bring your feet parallel, and you do the same thing. When you get to the top, flex your wrists so they're pushing up towards the ceiling. And again, so breathing in, and get to the top, and down. So how you fill yourself up with chi energy is down on the floor is a pot. You're going to pick it up, and then lift it up, as we did, and then when you tip your hands, is as if you are emptying the contents of your pot through the crown of your head. It's passing through all your chakras. So then I go into quite a lot of depth into chakras. It's passing through these chakras, and you allow it to almost kind of like percolate through your body. So we're going to try that, and as we're doing it, I'm going to give you some suggestions of things to visualize to really, really fully benefit from this. So the first time I want you to visualize that your pot is full of white light. So picking it up. Now this white light symbolizes success, abundance, and gratitude. Just allow it to pour in through the crown of your head, and your fingers gently trace down through the center of it. This time, when you bend down, and again, if someone's not able to bend way down, the pot can be on a table, it doesn't need to be on the floor, but if you've got super flexible, you can bend down and pick it from the floor. So this time it's full of emerald green, which in the chakras is all about love. So pouring pure love through your crown, through your head, through your throat. And just bring your hands to the center of your chest, which is where your heart chakra is. You might just want to say the word love. So this time your pot is full of yellow. So lifting it up. And this symbolizes sunshine, health and vitality. So imagine pouring liquid sunshine through your crown, allowing it to kind of seep through. I'm going to bring your hands to the top of your abdomen to your solar plexus, and this is the center of your creativity. It's where you have your own inner sun. So just breathing in health, vitality. Finally, your pot is full of blue. Any shade of blue, it symbolizes abundance. So allow that abundance to pour through your body. Trying to fill every part, and then just allow your hands to trace all down. And to finish this, we're going to just bring this leg in to meet the other one. Bring your arms up, looking up towards the sky, and bring everything down the center. We do that 3 times. So breathing in and come down. And third time, breathing in, coming down. You just say peace. Right. So if you need to grab a drink of water and grab your book again, I'm going to swing this around and kind of sit back down with you. So I hope that you enjoyed some smiling faces there. I hope you, very good. Hope you enjoyed learning some of those signature moves. Obviously, I could literally keep you for hours, but it gives you a little flavour of the kind of things that you could experience and that you could be sharing with your students. So now, what I want to share with you in this last little part of our masterclass is exactly what steps you need to take if you would like to become a certified Chi-Ballet teacher with me, and exactly what the course encompasses. So I have made a few little notes. So lesson 1. So just to be clear, if you're watching this on the replay, this is all going to be recorded. So ideally you enroll and you do it live every week, because I can give you lots of feedback. And at the end of this session, we're going to when I stop recording, if you're here live, then you have the opportunity to ask some questions. But if you're not live and you're watching it on the replay, then I'm always going to be here to answer your questions anyway, so you can just message me. Hopefully by the end of this, I will have answered all of your questions. So it's a 4-week course, and each week will be a live Zoom call or a replay, and each week will cover different aspects, and I'm going to tell you what they are. So lesson 1 is who, where, and how. So by the end of this lesson, you'll know exactly who you want to teach and where and how you are going to do it. And you may be thinking, well, I just want to teach everybody. I can't kind of express enough how important it is that you gain clarity on who it is that you want to serve. So I'll give you an example. Usually the woman that you want to serve is you from a few years ago. Yeah. So, and it's often when you have experienced what I call like a bit of a pit moment. So you think, your life's going along really great, and then there's like this pit, something happens. So, like, for example, I found a lot of personal growth when I was stressed and anxious. So when you were at the bottom of the pit, or somewhere near the bottom of the pit, and you are trying to find a way out, when you do, you don't want anybody else to be in that pit. So what happens is we build a bridge across the top. So Chi-Ballet is all about building a bridge so that other women do not need to go to the pit. So if I give you an example, I could really easily teach women going through menopause, because I've been through it. I know how it feels, and I know that, how, so for example, those exercises for unscrambling the mind. I know that you go through a phase when you are going through the menopause where you're like, what did I come in the room for? Oh my God, and I'm really hot, and I can't sleep at night, and I'm feeling quite anxious, and you just don't feel yourself. And so, that would be a really great little niche, if you like, to specialize in, if that's something you've experienced and something you feel you could build a bridge for. And I will, within the course, or once you have narrowed things down as to exactly who it is. And it's not that it's set in stone, because of course you can serve lots of different people, but you would serve them in different ways rather than trying to put them all into the same class and not really serve any of them fully to the level that you could. In lesson 1, you're also going to learn more exercises to utilize in your classes and how to unlock your creativity. So tonight, obviously, I've been sharing what I've created, but the whole thing behind Chi-Ballet is not for you to be, for me to be cloning myself. It's for me to be sharing everything I've got. I'm not going to hold anything back. I want to share everything. And if there's things that you're like, oh gosh, when she did that felt really good. And do you know what? Actually, I slept really well after I did that. Of course, take it and you use that. But there's other things you're like, that was complicated. I didn't really get that. Don't use that. Yes. So and obviously as well, I am going to help you unlock even more of your capabilities. I know already that you're so probably much more capable than what you realize that you are. So it's for me to help mentor and coach you so that you unlock those capabilities. So that's lesson 1. Lesson 2 is called Creating Content That Inspires. So during this lesson, you'll learn how to create content for your students that excites them, motivates, and gives them a complete mind-body workout. So I think you'd agree that from what you did tonight, you know, your body feels like it's been moved, but your mind, you were focused on what you were doing. Yes, so it's all about that. You'll receive all the support and resources and tools to make every lesson inspiring and fulfilling for them as well as for you. Because we teach our best when we're fully engaged and when we are being creative and when we feel fulfilled. Yes, it's that kind of thing of like filling your cup up and then it overflows. So I'm going to be, you know, encouraging you to do that. Now, lesson 3 is called motivation and mindset. So this lesson is not only about motivating your students and helping them with their mindset, but also with your own. So there's a great Henry Ford quote, which you may have heard, which is, if you believe you can, if you believe you can't, either way, you're right. So within this lesson, if you've got any limiting beliefs, like I mentioned earlier, that I am a belief clearing coach, that, you know, sometimes we get stuck on really silly things like, oh, you know, I want to teach this and I want to do that. I don't know how to set up a Facebook page, so I don't know how to get the students. And yes, so if you believe you can't, you're not going to be able to, but I'm going to help you with that. Yes, so there will be a lot of that. So it's going to be filled with techniques and tools for you to use, along with practical protocols for you to have a thriving business. So yes, so there will be some of the more practical things, like, you know, you might be asking, what insurance do I need? And yes, all of that will come in lesson 3. And then finally, lesson 4 is design classes that transform lives. It's time to get creative and start honing in on the framework for your class so that your students have transformations and are fulfilled. Yeah, I mentioned earlier, most people don't come to class to learn how to do just like a one step and then go, oh, I'm good. Yes, they want transformations. Yes, and that's what it's not about us. Yeah, I have, you know, and I'm sure if you teach as well, I've gone through phases where you teach a class that you love. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that, because when you love doing something, it shines out. But there is a large emphasis here placed on what they need, you know, what they, and that comes back to that first lesson. When you know who they are and you know what it is that they need, what it is that they're talking about, what it is that they're worried about, what pits they're in, then you can help lift them up and serve them, you know, above and beyond. So they're all coming back and they're telling their friends. Let's see, so you're going to have lots and lots of practical help and advice will be available to you in this lesson, so that by the end of it, you are confident and ready to start creating your own dream business. So literally 4 weeks and you could be up and running. So along the way, there will be assignments to help your progress. So particularly, obviously, those of you that I'm seeing live, I can give you instant, you know, guidance. If you're watching on replay, then there will be assignments where you might have to do a quick little, you know, bit of filming and submit it into me, but nothing that is going to overwhelm you or challenge in any way, but just so that you do feel supported and that you feel that you are getting the feedback and the guidance that you deserve and that you need. And I will be mentoring, coaching you to success. I am committed to this. Yeah. So at the end of that, if you've successfully completed those 4 weeks, you've done the assignments, you will receive your Chi-Ballet certification, and you'll be, you know, off and away. So what else have I put here? All the lessons are recorded, so if you can't make them, you can watch back on the replay. There isn't, I have a Facebook group, but it's just a Chi-Ballet private Facebook group, but I will be setting up one specifically for teachers. You are the first, which is highly exciting. It's going to grow as it progresses, but it's going to be a community where you can feel that you're not alone, that you can pop in and you can share things, you know, what do you think, guys? I just had this inspiration that I could use this music and do this, and we share. We are going to be a community of support and progress. Yeah, no one left behind. So I am on to the last little final bit. Let me just check. I want to make sure I answered all questions that potentially could come up. So ChiBallet is not a franchise, okay? So it's not going to be expensive. You're not buying into something that you're going to be required to make an ongoing payments for. Yeah, it's a one-off payment, and you receive the certification. And then in the future, as the business grows, there may well be additional masterclasses and workshops to take you to the next level. But currently it is brand new. You are the first, you're kind of like grandfathered in, if you like. And so I would obviously love to be your mentor, be your coach, and for you to be the first ambassadors, if you like, heading out. It's £195, and that is for the complete course and certification. If for any reason you feel that you can't commit to paying £195 in one fee, I have a payment plan of 4 payments of £55. So it works out a little bit more, but it offers you some flexibility. So what steps do you need to take? So just simply, I am going to be sending out replays so you can watch this back again. Just drop me a line and just let me know that you would like to sign up. It starts next Monday, and I will send you a reply, and you literally you know, depending on whether you are watching this live or whether you are watching on replay, it is, because it's recorded, you can do it at your own pace. So if you can't start it when it starts live, you can catch up. Obviously, you will need to put the assignments in, but if it takes you longer, it takes you longer. It really, there is no kind of, oh, by this date and then you have to be completed. This is the beginning of something incredibly exciting. It's something that I have trialed extensively over the last year with my students, and with you know, in lots of different ways, you know, one-on-ones, group situations, and it's had incredibly positive feedback. It is, as I said at the top, there's not been a better time for combining movement that is graceful, that makes women feel empowered and beautiful, along with the mindset side of things. You know, your mind is such a powerful tool, and it's only really, I think, now that it's becoming more mainstream, that we're all realizing that it is so important that we don't separate and go, oh, well, I'm going to go to the gym and lift weights and that's me done. Yes. And then, you know, partway through the day, you're just feeling really down. Yes, that we want to have things which are going to lift us. Yes. And you are going to be the ones taking your that off out into the world, and I couldn't be more excited. So I am going to sign off here. So if you're live, if you've been writing if you've got any questions, I think I've probably answered everything, but if there's any questions, that will be your opportunity to ask me. And if you're watching this on the replay and you've got any questions, just get in touch, and I look forward to seeing you inside the ChiBallet Teacher Training Academy. Thank you so much.